Oh, gamers, we're back with another Reecee. This is going to be a masterclass or a disaster class. Don't let the online Mario fans gaslight you by Reecee. I like the online in quotes, as if they're like fake people. No, Reecee, I was very nice to you last time, okay? I gave you a personal lesson in how you should engage with people on the internet, which is basically, in short, fuck them and get rid of them. Who cares about them, okay? They're nerds. You're the best around. Nothing's going to ever get you down, okay? That's the Musty way, all right? And let's see what happens. Let's see what Reecee has to say. He's in a live chat now, ready for his execution. All right, Sir Musty style. Because I am evil Musty after all. Let's find out, Reecee. Let's find out what you got for us, bro. Very loud, actually.
You guys probably know that I've been a Mario fan for
my
many
entire
years,
life.
And I've encountered a lot of really interesting parts of the Mario community, a lot of very positive parts, and some negative sides to the Mario community, especially on Twitter and Reddit.
I would love to say I agree with you, but I'm going to be honest, I haven't. And it's not because, well, yeah, actually it is because I haven't looked. Like Pokemon, I have seen it, but that's because I kind of used to be a bit more inclined to look at Pokemon stuff. If you were to describe me as a channel, I would say I'm a Mario channel, right? I think if you were to bog me down to just one game, I'd probably say I'm a Mario channel. And despite being a Mario channel for like 2 years now, it's very strange I've seen absolutely none of it. But he said he's seen it over the years. So he's going to take us on a field trip, Reece. Take us on a field trip, broski. What have you seen?
I've seen a lot
what have you
of
seen,
people
broski?
kind of buy into these negative sentiments a little too much. And
True.
I just wanted to talk about how you shouldn't really let these weird or negative Mario fans gaslight you into thinking some of these sentiments.
You know what? I'm okay. You're learning, Reecee. You might have learned a lesson from the Sir Musty school of fuck 'em. You might have learned a game. Let's keep listening.
And the first one is that it's wrong to want Mario RPG characters in spin-offs like Mario Kart and Mario Party. And yes, I know that these characters are very unlikely, and Nintendo hasn't expressed much interest in adding RPG characters to Mario Kart, even though they did reference them recently with the Frost Piranhas in Mario Kart World. But they still do seem pretty unlikely, but at the same time, people shouldn't be discouraged for wanting them. I've seen a lot of people.
Oh, he's seen people. Oh, it's people on the line. You know what you have to do, Reece. I want to see examples. Because I would agree with you. I think most normal people will agree with you. If you're someone who does want Gino in the Smash, or you want the Connie in the Mario Kart, by all means do so. Now, of course, it's very unlikely to happen. Nintendo has a track record of just, or should I say a not track record of not really acknowledging the spin-off characters in most other media. So it's hard. It's a hard sell. If you want to do it, then by all means. But the real question is, Reece, did you get people online? Oh no. Did he?
People on Mario spin-off oriented subreddits be incredibly toxic towards people who...
Okay, you know, fair news. Firstly, he's showing examples. They just aren't happening, Lamau. Just because someone is unlikely doesn't mean it will never happen. I've seen this attitude happen towards people who wanted a TTYD remake or Mario Luigi series to return. And both ended up happening, even though they seemed extremely unlikely a couple of years ago. They will never happen if they aren't, if people aren't vocal about it, because surprisingly, Nintendo does actually listen to feedback. Where do you source your copium? Seems stronger than typical. Okay, that's mean. That is mean. Do you know what? I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. At least you showed an example, and I think this guy is definitely being a bit of a cunt, 100%. So at least you've done a job convincing me that there are people like this. I could believe it. I can't believe Diddy Kong would do this. I really can't believe Diddy Kong would do this.
Even suggest the idea, or either downvoting them into oblivion, or even going as far as harassing them. I think this behavior shouldn't be tolerated. People should be allowed to express what Mario characters they want to see in Mario spin-offs. And it's just really sad to see a lot of negativity surrounding a lot of the fan rosters and fan creations involving RPG characters.
Now, okay, Reecee, here's the bar. Okay, so you did one good thing by showing us an example, all right? Now, here's the other good thing you need to do, Reece, to pass the Musty test. Are you going to teach people the law of fuck 'em? That's what you need to do. Because yes, I can imagine if you're someone who wants the Gino in the Smash or the Connie in the Mario Kart, I think you just kind of have to, unfortunately, is it unfortunate how it is? Yes. You kind of unfortunately have to accept the psychic damage of, there'll just be people that will just be cunts to you. You just gotta block them, ban them. I think if you're making a general call for the leaders of these communities to like not allow that sort of behavior, I think that could be a good direction to take this video. But we'll see. We'll see where Reece takes this one. It's good. Again, you got two paths ahead of you, Reece. Where are you going to take this video?
Characters, because I really want to see RPG characters in Mario Kart. Even
think
though
it'd be
it's
funny.
unlikely, I wish people weren't so dismissive and judgmental about it. Like, I remember a few years back, or even going way back to like the 2000s, when there was like a lot of Mario fan content with like RPG characters and things like that, and that was kind of praised and encouraged. But now I see just a lot of negativity around it.
I think this is a simple case of you just being nostalgic for an era once gone. You made a fatal mistake, Reecee. You've made the assumption that people were not toxic back then, when people were. I'm telling you, people were. The difference is, as I've said, that it's a lot more easier to see. And with the concepts of trolling / rage bait being more lucrative than ever before, with the internet being bigger than before, I think it's just a lot easier to see. And I think with the inherent negative bias that our brains tend to hyperfixate on, I think it's just something that people tend to focus on. I really hope you take this video in the direction of calling for other people to be more, shall I say, less tolerant of this behavior, because I think that'd be a good direction to take this video. I think if this video ends up taking the route of anyone who runs a community should not allow these people, I think that'd be fair. I think that'd be a fair ask to make. But I think if you're just gonna, wow, everyone's being so mean, it's just gonna be. I'm not gonna lie, Reecee. Yeah, I was kind of biased as I grew up with those Mario Flash games and animations. Yeah, I would say, like, again, I think that's the thing you have to. I think I told you about this before, Reecee. I told you about this before, man. I literally. That's why I'm extra disappointed in you. I made a video. Okay, I told you the techniques, the videos, the things with the communities of the past. Everything was like very specific. If you went on Newgrounds, you'll probably go in there because you liked cartoon parodies and edgy stuff. If you're on fucking Tumblr, you wanted the woke burger and the woke burger, right? But now everything is on one dog shit website where it's served an algorithm that sometimes doesn't serve us exactly what we want. You know what I mean? I know it sounds dickish, but have people forgot that, you know, you could just go, you have to grow a hard skin to enter the video game discussion? I think so. Again, it's one of those things where it feels bad to say to people, but it's true though. It's just true. Like, unfortunately, not everyone's going to be nice to you. And you kind of just have to set the tone for what you want your community to be. I think I've set a very hard tone for what I want my community to be. Even the slight bit of negativity in my community is just routed immediately. Like, with the kinds of comments where it's, I stopped watching after, I unsubscribed because, damn, you rank this, but this, brother, get out. Okay, I'm not interested. I'm just not interested. I just don't tolerate any of that. That's how I rule my land. Okay, either be nuanced or be funny. Okay, or be polite. One of the three, Reecee. Okay, come on, Reecee. Help a brother out here, Reecee. Help a brother out.
But at the same time, though, don't be gaslit into thinking that it's unpopular to want RPG characters.
Okay, that's true.
At the same time, even though there is a lot of negativity,
it's just a loud minority.
Is the vocal minority.
True, that's good.
The next thing that I don't think fans should gaslight you into thinking are that slightly niche characters.
Gino is an overrated character and doesn't deserve the hype surrounding him. Change my mind. I will say, and I'm talking just on behalf of me, I'm not talking on behalf of anyone else. Anyone else in the chat can say their thoughts. I have seen one too many Gino Andys in my time on the internet. And I'm not going to pretend that it hasn't annoyed me a little bit. It's to the point where I didn't even know Mallow's name. I didn't know the other like RPG protagonist's name until relatively recently. I've known who Gino is my whole fucking life. Because in my entire life I've heard, Gino! Gino! You know?
Like Gino, Vivian, or Waffle are overrated. And it is completely okay if you don't like these characters.
Yeah.
But I feel like calling them overrated isn't exactly fair. Like,
if you're asking, again, I'm speaking on behalf of myself, chat. I'm not condemning Reece for this take. If you're asking me based on my subjective experience, chat, you can help as well. Is he or is he not? Because I know from my general perusings of the internet for the last 20 years, I have heard one too many obnoxious Gino fan. It's to the point where I know that Gino is in Superstar Saga. I didn't know that when I was a kid, but now I know he was in Superstar Saga. Because he's a tiny little cameo in one of the mini games that you play in Little Funky Town. I didn't know that as a kid. I was just like, oh, it's just this little fucking puppet thing. But I know that because people would cry and be like, he was in Superstar Saga. Why wasn't he playable? Because they're just that obnoxious. So I get the general sentiment you're trying to say, but I think Gino's a bad example. I'll be real with you. I think Gino's probably the worst example you could use. Because I think he is a little overrated. Gino is the main reason I slander. People have latched onto one thing Sakurai said back in the late 2000s, and I need to let people to let it. I can't stand it anymore. See, if the chat is anything to go by, Reecee, like, it's not just me. The chat is very good at telling me that, like, if it's just me, if I'm just people aligning myself. But I think Gino is definitely a bad example to use here. I don't think your sentiment is necessarily ill-intentioned, but yeah, I think Gino is definitely a bad example.
It isn't exactly fair to consider these characters too highly praised when they haven't even been officially in the spotlight that much. Outside of
shouldn't that just go to show how overrated they are? That like Gino hasn't been in a game since what, RPG basically, and yet I still can't fucking stop hearing about it. Yeah, anyway, as I said,
videos and remakes, Gino has only appeared in one game and hasn't even had the chance to appear in spin-offs. Why shouldn't fans have a chance to see their character shine for once? Or why shouldn't a popular character have a chance to be in another game again?
I agree. No, I agree with you. I think that if somebody wants spin-off stuff, that, yeah, no, 100%. I agree with the sentiment. Again, I think just, bad example. I'll continue.
And also, I understand that people would rather see other characters take the spotlight, like Mallow, Lady Bo, Bobbery, Prince Peasley, or Starlo. That is perfectly valid.
Very valid. Your feelings are valid, guys.
But the reason why people rally behind a couple characters like Gino is because they're slightly more popular and easier to send a message to Nintendo if it's one or two characters rather than dozens.
I would agree with the sentiment. I would say Gino probably has the same problem as Charizard does in Pokemon. People think it's overrated. It's like, well, is he overrated or is he just the most popular character in that game? And I think people have a hard time distinguishing between the two. I think even Pokemon it happens too when people say Charizard is overrated. It's like, no, he's just very popular. That's why you see him everywhere. Like in RPG, everyone seems to... If millions of people played Mario RPG and seem to gravitate towards Gino, are the millions of people wrong? No, it's just they're obnoxious. That's the difference.
But next, don't let people make you think that games like Mario Odyssey and Wonder are universally hated. With Mario...
Force Soul that Reecee. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I think one of the top 5 most funniest arguments I've heard against the game in like my whole live chat has to be Forced Soul. Bruv, that was everywhere for a bit. Especially with Mario Wonder. Not so much with Odyssey. But I remember seeing that quite like prolifically. It was to the point where even like Vinny Vinesauce like addressed it, you see? Oh, here it is, yeah, literally. Here's the image. This reeks of artificial salt, you know that? And then obviously someone said, dude, look how crazy and wacky we are. Bet you've never seen this enemy before. And look at the epic ground changes. Mario's an elephant now. Okay, that just happened. Like, we're not in the Wii era anymore. We totally get it. It's cool now. We gave Mario actual expression. Someone give us a mendel. Please like us. Mario has no soul. My mandate. Okay, we pretty much changed everything. Fake soul, trying too hard. I don't get you people. Yeah, literally. Even this person was fucking pissed off with 4chan. Like, all you guys do is whinge and bitch. You know what I mean? That's all they fucking do. It was like the most unemployed argument I've ever seen in my life. It was funny, though.
Mario Odyssey in particular, I've seen multiple Mario fans say that it has a mixed reception or is even a divisive game.
Oh my god, is he getting Arloed? Chat, is he getting Arloed in real time?
Which is kind of ridiculous.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Really...
I paused too soon, chat. My apologies. I paused too soon.
I haven't encountered them in
Kill the
years.
puppet. Kill the
Probably
puppet. Yes.
The fact that
get
I
him.
haven't used
Get him.
in a very long time. But
oh, hang on.
Probably due to the fact that I haven't used Twitter in a very long time.
I'll be honest, Reecee, you could have fooled me, but I'm happy for you.
But I haven't really seen it that much on the internet in general. In reality, Odyssey is still a universally praised game in the grand scheme of things. Yeah. People outside of the internet see it as a genuinely enjoyable and a really fun Mario game.
Absolutely. Like I said, I think more people have like more gripes with this than say Galaxy. But yeah, I would say overall this game, yeah, universal praise.
Not the monotonous moon hunting madness that Twitter wants to convince you is the general consensus. And this also goes for games like Mario Wonder or Thousand Year Door. There was never
1,000 Year Door mention, guys. Everyone take a drink.
A switch up for these
obligatory 1,000 Year Door mention.
People just didn't care for the game, or there might have been a vocal minority of people who were loud and a little toxic about it. That really isn't the general consensus. That doesn't mean these games are mixed or divisive. That's just a small group of people.
I think what I tend to do, and I think it's something that you should advocate for, Reecee, when I see a sentiment, I try to like look on multiple different platforms, like multiple different like groups within the group. So for example, I'm not just going to look at the Mario Odyssey like subreddit, for example, right? I'm going to look up on Twitter, and I'm going to look up on TikTok, I'm going to look up in like YouTube videos. Do you know what I mean? I think if multiple sources are generally like in unison, like, because generally it's hard to get the internet unified on anything, right? Now, obviously, it's a different when like something is the hot button issue, because then obviously everyone's talking about it at the same time. What you have to look at is one, again, are multiple sources talking about the same thing, this same sort of sentiment, and two, how much longevity? Because again, something will happen and then everyone will be like, oh my god, I have to say my piece on it. Or like a week later when it, obviously everyone moves on the internet, are people still talking about it? A month from now when the internet's well and definitely moved on, Are people still talking about? That's what you want to look for. That's generally the barometer I tend to use, which is why, for example, when I did my video reviewing the update, the Mario Kart update 1.1.2, I took a while because obviously I wanted to see, okay, now that the dust is settled, what do we actually think? And obviously I came to the conclusion that, yeah, the update was shit. Good job, Nintendo. But there's a reason why I waited a bit, because I wanted to see, okay, if the dust settles, how are we all feeling? Like, obviously, the update comes out and everyone's like, oh my God, it's dead. And it's like, yeah, of course you're going to say that. You want the fucking ad revenue. Everyone wants to say that. Everyone loves a bit of hyperbole on a Sunday morning. But yes, they're generally like, does it have legs to it? Is there like some longevity? A week from now, a month from now, even a year from now, are people roughly saying the same thing? You know, that's generally a good thing to look out for.
But the next thing is that don't let people convince you that the Mario mandates are still actively a thing that exists. Okay, this one might be a little more subjective because we don't really have a...
Just to clarify, I think you guys might have to help me with this one. Was the Mario mandates like that weird period in time when Nintendo could only use the Toad and the Goomba and the Koopa, and that was kind of it for a bit? Yeah? Or fans coined it anyway? Okay, got it.
Clear.
If you were to ask me right now, I don't think it's still in effect. At least it doesn't look like it's still in effect as of recently, right?
On what the mandates were exactly. And the thing is, the Mario franchise always had...
Was that actually confirmed to be true, by the way, or was that just like a theory, like a very well-crafted theory? No, it's true. Really? Okay. It was confirmed that Paper Mario franchise was limited in types of characters they could use. Okay. They said someone in an interview they weren't allowed to. Interesting. Okay, so it was. Okay, fair. I thought it was like something that like we all just collectively came to a conclusion for with like a series of games. Okay, interesting.
And still does have some clear guidelines on things. Like, you can't really have Mario shooting a gun or just doing anything. There's still
All of Mario? No?
restrictions and guidelines in place that have always existed throughout the franchise. But when I say mandates, I really just mean the strict restrictions akin to what the modern Paper Mario games dealt with. Nowadays, there really doesn't seem to be a strict mandate on the franchise, as we've seen with almost every post-Wonder Mario game.
I don't know, guys. Have you seen much of this on the internet? I mean, I suppose it's a good thing that you're kind of telling your audience don't fall for the losers, which is great. I wouldn't say this is something that I've seen a lot of myself. Fair enough, I suppose. If you're giving people a heads up, don't fall for it. Always a good thing.
There seems to be a very loose guideline on how the
Mainly
characters
Paper Mario thing,
are
got it.
portrayed and designed in every game. As we've seen, like a very chibi like Mario design in the Mario RPG remake, and many different variations of Mario enemies and character designs between different games, either if it's a remake or a game in a different series like Mario and Luigi, or just complete redesigns in Mario Wonder or Mario Kart. It really doesn't seem like they are as strict as they were before. And the thing is, with certain games like Mario and Luigi Brothership, it actually brought back older Mario and Luigi enemies that we haven't seen since Dream Team, which is really cool.
Member gamers, do you remember those enemies?
And the Thousand Year Door remake kept all of its character designs intact
God.
Other remakes, like Superstar Saga, changed a lot of designs.
I would say this is probably less Mario Mandate and more Alpha Dream was fucking bankrupt. That's what I like. Cause I had a feeling you'd mention the Superstar Saga stuff. But yeah, I have a feeling the Superstar... My theory as to the Superstar Saga stuff, unless obviously there's anything to prove otherwise, was just Alpha Dream were fucking broke. And they just couldn't afford to do anything too much, you know what I mean? They were reusing assets, yeah. Which is why I didn't buy the Superstar Saga Bowser's Minions thing. It just felt like they put Superstar in, like, Dream Team's engine. And I just kind of hated that, if I'm being honest. They were dying at the time. Yeah, literally. It's boring.
And the only thing that may be an argument for why strict mandates and character restrictions still exist is the fact that we haven't seen many varied Toad designs in new games outside of the remakes. But the thing is, I kind of doubt that they weren't allowed to make new Toad designs. I think most developers and artists are just used to the...
I think they just probably want to do more than just fuck with Toad, you know? That sort of thing.
Of all Toads being samey. And in cases like Brothership, I think they were more focused on creating original designs rather than very Toad
I would say so. I think it's just more... I think if you're an artist making a game, especially in a Mario RPG where like you generally have a bit more carte blanche to invent characters, you're probably going to invent more like your own stuff than let's do a Toad, but except he's like got like a... He's like got a black head with like red orbs instead. Like the polka dots are still red, but it's black. He's got sunglasses and he's like the cool Toad. You know, they probably don't want to do that. I don't know. I'd want to do that. That seems like
Super
fun.
Mario Party Jamboree.
Nonchalant
They
Toad.
mostly wanted to reuse assets from the previous Mario Party games. We really haven't seen many new characters at all in Jamboree, and I think that was because they were reusing most of the models from the previous Mario Party games on the Switch. And I think it's entirely possible that we could see like varied Toad designs in something like a new Paper Mario game.
Just say it. You just want Toadsworth back, don't you? You're just a Toadsworth, Andy. I've had enough of you fucking Toadsworthers. Oh, Toadsworth is dead good. He's dead, he's old. Okay, let him retire.
Because of the precedent,
Leave Toad alone, okay?
Door set for the Paper Mario series. So I feel like the Thousand Year Door remake almost pushed it forward a little
Thousand Year Door mentioned again, gamers. Take another drink.
bit for Paper Mario specifically. Because I don't really think there is any restriction or anything stopping the developers from adding more unique Toad designs.
Yeah, probably just didn't want to.
And then finally
Finally gone.
don't
Finally!
let people gaslight you that Paper Mario fans, specifically older Paper Mario fans like Thousand Year Door fans,
Don't let people gaslight to old Paper Mario. Me, I'm talking about me. I'm talking about me, guys. I'm talking about me.
aren't accepting of change. I've seen dozens of memes over the years.
Okay, fair. You're showing some examples at least. You're showing some examples. Now, the real question is, Reecee, I'm noticing a suspicious lack of, like, I don't know, like, people, tweets from them to see, like, if their like counts are, like, really high or something. Like, I don't know. Maybe you just literally Googled anti-TTYD meme, and then, I don't know, maybe he did, but no, at least exists. At least he showed me they exist.
Then nowadays, after the remake, which is kind of crazy, about the fact that Thousand Year Door fans aren't accepting of change. But that isn't entirely true.
I would say easily this is like your weakest argument. I would say this one. I think the rest of your arguments were a bit like, definitely a tiny bit of people are right, but I feel like they could serve as at least good vectors for giving people a wider view into what they should not hyper focus on. I think this is literally a case of you just had enough of people making fun of you and you just wanted to disprove. That's what it seems like. I might pause too soon again, but yeah, it would seem like this is just one. It's like if I complain saying, guys, not all Pokemon fans are just boomers that want, like, XP share gone, okay? That's not true. It's like I'm just talking about me. That's what this one comes across like, at least initially. I've definitely met some insanely insufferable people to hate on the new games unabashedly.
One hand, that is a gross generalization of people who like Thousand Year Door.
Yes, but that's just what. Reece! Reece, no! Reecee, no! You're doing the thing! You've been doing the thing a little bit the whole video, but this is easily the worst one, Reecee. Okay, this is the worst one. Firstly, help me out, Paper Mario Bros. Again, I'm kind of outside my element here. I would say that old school Paper Mario fans probably have like a genuine reason to be at least a little bit like, because like the way the first two games were played, and then the way the recent games play just got completely upended the style and changed it. I would still say it's at least a bit valid for them to have a bit of chip on their shoulder, you know? It's like, and millennial Pokemon fans, right? They all be sitting there going, why are the new games too easy? Forced XP share. Like, I'm not one of them. I love modern Pokemon. But I understand that, yes, whenever someone talks about old Pokemon fans, they're probably going to lump me in the same brush, and I just kind of have to deal with that psychic damage. Is it a bit of a shame? Yes. But yeah, I am an older Pokemon fan that likes modern Pokemon, but unfortunately, I'm a rarity and not common, so I'm just going to be, you know, thrown in with the rest of the apples, unfortunately. It's a bit of a shame. But in general internet discussions, I think you just kind of have to just tank the psychic damage, really. I think that's another lesson you could teach people. Sometimes perceptions of you in your community are going to be a bit unfair, but sometimes you just kind of have to go, yeah, it's just kind of is. Yeah, people mostly my age do fucking hate the XP share. But you know what I tell them? I tell them they're fucking boring. So in the same way, yeah, I would say that old Paper Mario fans have a genuine reason to be a little miffed. And if you're someone who enjoys the modern games, but unfortunately gets tarred with that brush, I think you just kind of have to deal with that psychic damage. Instead of doing this whole, guys, but not all. No, I'm different. Guys, no. I'm making it a little fun, but there's a little bit how you come across. I played all the games. The main thing with the older games and new games, the fact that the new ones have more glaring issues to point out. It mostly comes down to how much do these affect your enjoyment. I misread that as how much do these affect your employment. I was going to say, how unemployed are you where this bothers you? That's what I read it as, and I think I like that line better, you know?
Which has kind of been happening over the years. And on the other hand, People who want a new Paper Mario game in the style of 64 or Thousand Year Door don't necessarily want a carbon copy of Thousand Year Door, and don't necessarily think that the other ideas that the series tried are bad.
Yeah, again, once again, you're doing a thing. Unfortunately, you got tired with this brush, Reecee. It's just how it is. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
I have seen plenty of people say that they loved Origami King's world design, or even the ring system in the game, or Super Paper Mario's more action-based gameplay, or the resource management system of Sticker Star. What older fans were really disappointed about was the fact that the newer games removed what worked in the first place.
Yeah,
like
basically.
depth of combat, experience points, engaging action commands, and a heavier emphasis on story.
I would say, at least from the outside looking in, again, Paper Mario Bros, help me. I think Matthew Smart typed something in the chat. I would say from the outside looking in, I would say Paper Mario, old school Paper Mario fans probably have a bit more carte blanche to be upset than modern Pokemon fans. I would say if there's probably like a couple genuine things that I miss about old Pokemon. Dungeons are one of them. The rivals carrying the harder Pokemon is definitely one of them. The more like there's definitely a lot of like hard things that you can really point at to be like, okay, this thing in modern Pokemon sucks. I would say if I was to draft a list, I would say the list of Paper Mario fans are probably longer, if that makes sense. I feel like they got more reasons to be upset, at least from the outside looking in. But that could just be me spitballing. I have no idea.
You can have those things while also innovating at the same time.
Yeah, it's like at least Pokemon still feels like Pokemon despite the polish. Yeah, it's like the issue with Pokemon now is just not as polished as it could be. Whereas in Paper Mario, they were literally just like, oh, you like that gameplay? Yoink. You know? Which is a shame, honestly. A shame if you like the old gameplay style.
System since Thousand Year Door. So there are a lot of things that they can do to build on top of that. Wanting core aspects of 64 and Thousand Year Door doesn't mean you want a carbon copy of it.
Yeah, okay. Preaching to the choir, as I said.
Look at the Mario and Luigi series. All of the games do new and interesting things, like most recently, Mario and Luigi Brothership added the battle plugs, which was a great new addition. But
well, I mean, as Matt, hang on, I'll let you finish first, actually.
Kept the core aspects that people loved about the Mario and Luigi series.
Which is, I think, the thing the Paper Mario guys are upset about, that it doesn't do that.
Why can't we see that with the new Paper Mario game?
Oh yeah, okay, he's literally saying that. Okay, cool.
Be perfect, and that doesn't mean it will be Thousand Year Door 2. Most people don't want a Thousand Year Door 2. They want a game that brings back the core aspects of 64 and Thousand Year Door, but also innovates and adds new things at the same time.
It's just unfortunate the kinds of people who are going to call you old are the kinds of people like, oh, I'm going to watch your video, Reecee. That's just how it is, unfortunately.
But anyways, those are my thoughts on some of the kind of more negative sentiments out there about different things in the Mario community. But finally, if you do see yourself being too overwhelmed by a lot of the negativity and
come on, go on, Reecee. Fuck them, block them, kill them. Not interested. Do not recommend channel, please. Yell it loud and yell it proud, Reecee, please.
Toxicity of the Mario community.
Tell them.
Don't lecture people about it, because a lot of people who have these sentiments can't really be convinced otherwise.
Okay, you know, that's a close second. You know what, fair? I say the same thing all the time. The kinds of people that are willing to get in these fucking dumbass slap fights are probably just rage baiting you. There's just no point getting into arguments with them. Fuck them, honestly.
Just due to the fact that people really can't be reasoned with online.
Dude! I said the same thing! Oh, at least he ended on a strong note.
To do if you're dealing with too much negativity,
block him.
Just
block him.
Either walk off,
or walk up, or block him.
Engage with these.
You don't get block him.
Form your own opinions about things.
You know what? Good. So he ended on a strong note. Stumbled a bit towards the end, but you know what? Fucking kill him. All right, beautiful stuff.
That is
Love to
really
hear it.
The best thing to do in all.
You know, maybe he did learn a lesson from Musty's school of people online. Maybe he did learn a lesson.
But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more.
You, my son, you have learned a great lesson, okay? I'll give you a like.
Make sure to check out my Discord server and Blue Sky.
I'm guessing the rest of this is just housekeeping, in which case, yeah, go check them out, chat. What I will say is that overall, definitely a better showing in people online. If you're going to make a video like this again in the future, I don't know how frequently you'd like to make these sorts of videos. What I will say that you could probably add to this sort of thing, along with, you did a good job adding examples. I would say, you know, maybe show more examples of people that maybe might be more prominent, maybe a bit more like to indicate that, okay, this is a sentiment that a lot of people have. It's not just a GIF I found on my Discord. Maybe you can like make use of better examples. Another thing you definitely though should do is give people direction, right? And towards the end, you did that. I would say with every point you're going to make, you should point to people, okay, what can you do to stop this sort of thing? What can you do to make your life better? When you bump into people that say this stupid thing, the best thing you could do is just ignore them. Best thing you do is just block them. Look at the review scores. Mario Odyssey was a great game. Do not let these people convince you it's a mid game. Do you know what I mean? Like, just reinforce the idea and give people like an action that they can tangibly do. Just say, hey, listen, you're just lying. Just flip them off. Fuck the haters. Okay? Just remind people that they're in control of the things that they say. I think that's an important sentiment to echo throughout most of this video, because I think most people genuinely forget that. There is a shocking amount of people who just don't understand. You can just click fucking... There's a nuke button. There's literally a nuke button next to most people that you can just click, and they're gone forever. And I think reminding people of that they always have that choice is an important thing to do, I would say. But either way, I think this was easily a better showcase. I would say your last point was definitely your weakest one. It was a case of you just don't like being tarred with the same brush, which is just like, hey, welcome to the first time. That's just kind of what happens, unfortunately. But I would say solid, a better lesson. You've learned well, my son. I would say definitely upgraded from level 1 to level 2. Now we need you at level 3, okay, which is the discourse nirvana. That's what we need to do, okay? And you can always poke fun at them when they get serious because it will upset them when they aren't. Yes, literally. Laughing is an amazing tool. It really is. Most people, when they make these stupid points, want to be taken seriously, okay? And if you just laugh at them, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't fucking work. That's why I thoroughly believe in the power of pointing and laughing. Because when someone's being a bit of a dipshit, just go... And it works wonders, I promise. Should we have a look at the comments? Don't let Mario fans guess. No, don't let any fans guess it. Yeah, literally, you know, fair. Enjoyment is subjective. Yeah, fair. I think obviously Reese's focus in this video was Mario fans. So of course, he titled Mario fans, but you know, fair sentiment. Don't let any grifters change your opinion. Enjoy the Switch too. True! I keep hearing said that Brothership was a bad game and sold poorly. Just block them, broski. It sold decently well, and it was a fun game, okay? What was it? There's fucking... And Brothership has no soul. Fucking get the fuck out my algorithm, bro. Honestly. Genuinely crazy. Bro, was it 2 different people who reacted to chat? But they're like, Brothership has no soul. Something is missing in Brothership. Yeah, your fucking childhood whims, you dipshit. When you were playing BIS, you were a kid. You were a booger-eating little kid with all the time in the world, doughy-eyed as hell. Now you got a 9 to 5 and your lower back hurts. Of course Brothership doesn't have any soul. You've lost yours years ago. I don't understand why people think RPG characters wouldn't make sense in spins, considering we barely have any representation beyond these stupid 3D games. I think it's just a case of like, people tend to go by, it's not been done before, therefore, you know? So it's one of those things you can hope for, but you kind of have to accept that it's unlikely. Unfortunately, when it comes to like this sort of fan discussion, you bump into a lot of the, but Nintendo have never done it, you know what I mean? So it's just one of those things you have to deal with. One of the best things about Smash now, and one of my favorite things about Smash, is that anything is possible. So like, no suggestion is a bad suggestion. Do you know what I mean? Unfortunately though, Mario Kart and Mario in general hasn't really had that sort of breakthrough moment. So it seems like whenever you discuss Geno and Smash, people are just like, it's not gonna happen. Instead of people letting you just enjoy things, they're like, it's not gonna happen. So it's just unfortunately the psychic damage you have to deal with, you know? It's just unfortunate, you know? Have you considered representation of Mario isn't the goal of spin-offs? We've seen Nintendo just make characters for spin-offs. Yeah, that's probably the case too. Which most of the time are usually variants like in Mario Kart, and that doesn't fact that there are plenty of characters they could use beyond asset pools. Yeah, I think both of these reasonings are fair. Eat Harmonist, I recognize him as well. Good topic of conversation. I remember before Bonanza came out, Arlo made a video how he hoped everyone would love it and everyone would receive better than Odyssey. His comments blocked that he was gaslighting into thinking that. So even a guy like him could get tricked. I mean, in all fairness, with how online I think Arlo is, I think it'd be quite easy to trick. I don't mean that disrespectfully, but this is the guy who like fell for the Pikmin that Pikmin discourse was just like wild. I'll be real with you. Arlo's a bit more online than he lets on. Honestly, I bet he is. I bet he's still got Twitter on his phone. There's a vocal minority that hates sandbox Mario games that really poisoned the world in regards to Odyssey and Sunshine. I would say, is the well poisoned on Sunshine, or is Sunshine just a shit video game? You really shouldn't use the word gaslighting for someone having a different opinion than you. Yes, even when they experience things toxically. Gaslighting is a bit... Okay, can we get this fucking... Can we get this nerd out the comment section, please? Reecee, could you do me a favor and delete this fucking nerd? Yes, gaslighting is an abuse tactic. It's a psychological term. It has been like adopted in common parlance, and that's when it's more used now. It's like how literally doesn't mean literally half the time. It means figuratively. Language changes and adapts, and gaslighting, while it used to be exclusively a psychological term, is now become a term for common parlance. So when Reecee says it here, he just means He doesn't mean literally gaslit as in like an abusive partner gaslighting you. He means you might see a divisive opinion here, divisive opinion here, and you might collectively believe that, oh, this is like the majority. That's obviously what he means by that. You're being too woke, okay? That one friend that's too woke, kill him. This is why you tune out all the Mario Kart Twitter discourse for the weekend after you. Nick Drew! I say this. Do I not say this every day? Chat? I literally said, my Twitter is amazing. I fucking love it. Okay, this is the obligatory Sir Musty shows off a tweet he likes moment. It's someone obviously using the, you know, like 3D Mario, you can use like the touch screen to like suppress an enemy. Someone's suppressing the fucking spike. And he looks like, this brother looks like he's having way too much fun. That's what you need. That's what your Twitter needs to be, okay? That's what your Twitter needs to be. I wonder which sign I fall into. We're still liking Super Mario Party, Super Mario Bros. Being most of the sports game after Super Mix. As much like a safe error or other things that don't particularly jive with the Mario fans, the last thing I want is to force opinions on anybody. Ultimately, I don't care about being right. This is a subjective hobby like games. I created my own beliefs after years of playing Super Mario. Choosing to play the games I know I love while logging off of social media to yeah, literally, like, if you're someone who generally loves like I would say you're crazy for liking Super Mario Party. I think that shit is bare bones. I think Super Mario Wii is easily the worst new Super game, but like, and it's not even close. And yeah, the Switch era sports game leave a lot to be desired. But if you genuinely like them, all the fucking power to you, bro. Just do your thing, bro. Just do your thing. Don't let positive fans gaslight you thinking something is good. Who cares? People will say what they say, and most people aren't looking to hang on. Now, most on here aren't coming to looking for to change their minds, just defend their sandstone stance. I think this mindset is utter fucking dog shit. Hang on, I didn't read the whole comment, hang on. Both negativity and positivity have their place, and sometimes games have aspects that can both be fun and not good at the same time. Ultimately, what a person prefers comes down to what they value. Yes, but like, I think to assume people always want to have their set stone. To assume everyone has their stance set in stone and is not going to have their opinion changed is a mindset so fucking brazen. I don't even know where to begin. Why would I even bother making videos ever if that was the case? The reason I make ranking videos and stuff is because I believe in my opinion, and I'm here to persuade you that my opinion is the right opinion. If you disagree with me, fair, tell me why you disagree with me. If not, then adopt my opinion is your own. I mean, he's not wrong though. I think to go under the assumption that everyone thinks this way is fucking stupid. What is the point? Now, don't get me wrong. Of course, there are people that literally do, like, you have to, there are some people that come into your comment sections, that come into communities where they're just here to defend their goat and that is it. But you can very quickly gain a mind to suss those people out. Generally, I know when I'm talking to most people in my community, they want to like have at least some sort of discussion. Lord knows I do. And I know that's the community of people that I cultivate. Again, if you go in the general stance of the internet, obviously more so. But if you're going to go under the assumption that everyone thinks this way, that's just sad. What's the point of any discussion ever then? What do you think, Reecee? What's really the point? I'm not saying having a negative opinion on something is automatically bad. It's probably fine if you dislike something. I'm saying that people shouldn't be misled into being complacent with toxic mentalities, misinformation, and generalizations that can hurt others in the community. Fair reply. I would have been way more mean to this person. The people here are a minority. Well, I'm going to be honest, Sean. I don't care if the people here are a minority. The people that are here. I don't give a shit what the rest of the internet does. I care what my space does, because my space is the one I have influence in. And the vast majority of people in my space are people that don't mind having their opinions changed, that want to have fruitful conversations. So frankly, I just don't give a shit. When I put my opinions out there, I go out with the assumption that people do want to have their minds changed, or at least have a new perspective that they've never seen before. If I assume this, I literally wouldn't live stream. What the point be of that, Sean? What, to just defend my goat regardless? If it wasn't for the fruitful discussions I take part in, I would have assumed that Mario Galaxy is this perfect 10 out of 10 video game that has no flaws. And while I still love the game, I would say now it's a 9 because I'm aware of its flaws because people discuss it and I'm willing to have my mind changed. I still think it's a phenomenal game, but yeah, I would admit the pacing is a bit slow. It's not as free-flowing as I'd imagine it could be. Especially with Galaxy, there's like a weighted level to the stars. Like some Galaxies have 8 stars and others have 1, and it's a bit like a mismatch. Yeah, if I wasn't open to that, I would never have had my mind changed. And I would like to believe I've cultivated a community of people that like at least have some sort of an open mind. I don't know, either way. I'll go into things with an open mind and when I see people say, yeah, literally, exactly. See, Cast One's proven me right. Classic Cast One W. I'll leave the comments there. I think I'm done roasting my chat more so than the comments itself. So I think I'll leave it there. Either way, Reecee, I'm glad you've learned some lessons, and I'm glad you spread the goodwill to your community. What I'll say again is that I think more calls to actions to really punch it home that you should not care about these people. I think we'll do your video a little bit extra spice. But overall, I would say fair dues, other than some slight stumbles towards the end. I would say overall, a well put together video, and not the people online that I thought it was going to be. To be honest, Reecee, I didn't have high hopes for you. But those hopes were raised, and you lived up to the occasion. So, round of applause, broski. And I'll leave you right there. How about that?